Hey y'all, real quick before the video. I recently did a collab with Stagehands In where we do a deep dive on the rise and fall of PBS Kids. Go check out his channel after the video and let him know Matt sent you. So I'll be honest, nobody commissioned me to make this video. I chose to talk about this episode myself, and for a very bizarre reason. Like most folks my age, I grew up loving SpongeBob. My family didn't have cable when I was a kid, so my first exposure to this show was through a VHS copy of Sponge Buddies.
Nautical Nonsense and Sponge Buddies, available now on video cassette and DVD.
Yeah, I grew up in that very small window of time when you could buy both DVD and VHS copies of the same movie. Sponge Buddies was not only my introduction to SpongeBob, but also to Nickelodeon as a whole. And not coincidentally, this tape contains the episode I'll be talking about today, Wormy.
Wormy.
I know there are way worse episodes that are much more deserving of a video, but I wanted to cover this episode for one specific reason. The first time I watched it, it scared the crap out of me. And if you've seen the episode, then you know exactly why. Most people tend to consider Rock Bottom the scariest episode of classic SpongeBob. And while that episode is definitely creepy, there's something about Wormy that stuck with me in a way that made me scared of bugs for the rest of my life. So literally while I was writing this video, I looked up and saw a giant silverfish crawling on my bedroom wall. When I tell you I jumped out of my chair so fast, I wanted to look back at this episode to see if it's as scary as I remember, and hopefully conquer my childhood fear. Let's not waste any more time and delve right in. This video is brought to you by viewers like you. Thank you. Be sure to subscribe and help get this video to 2,000 likes. SpongeBob and Patrick are pet sitting for Sandy while she's out of town.
Pet sitting? Won't that hurt them?
It's not that kind of show, Patrick. No, this is the kind of show where a squirrel can own pets that would be way bigger than her in real life. Like, I get the insects, but come on. Snakes eat squirrels. That is a baby turtle. Turtles live in the ocean. That's not her pet. That is someone's child she stole. Sandy heads out as SpongeBob and Patrick become enamored with her pet named Wormy.
Isn't he just precious? Let's take him out to play.
The three proceed to have the best day ever, while the rest of Sandy's animals go hungry.
Stay by your side, won't you be saying goodbye, come what may, 'cause that's what friends do.
Fun fact, this song was written by Peter Strauss, who you might recognize as the singing voice for the Ripped Pants song. He was also the bassist for the Dwarves, meaning the same guy responsible for this song
I know I shouldn't mope around, I shouldn't curse, but the pain feels so much worse.
is also responsible for this song. The day comes to a close as SpongeBob and Patrick tearfully bid farewell to their new best friend, even though they could technically spend the night since Sandy is away. What else do these two have going on with their lives? The duo is so upset that they forget to take off their helmets. That night, something is amiss at the tree dome. Surprise, surprise, it turns out Wormy is actually a caterpillar. Wormy somehow undergoes 2 weeks of metamorphosis in one night and emerges his cocoon as a monarch butterfly. The next morning, SpongeBob and Patrick wake up at the crack of dawn to go play with Wormy.
Here I come, Wormy!
Me too!
Patrick, why were you sleeping inside the clock? The two get to the tree dome but can't put together that the butterfly is Wormy.
He left his best friend Ribbon behind.
The two start to worry that something bad happened to Wormy when we get the shot that traumatized 6-year-old Matt for life. I am barely exaggerating. This scene gave me some of the worst nightmares I've ever had. Even though this was one of my favorite VHS tapes, I would always fast forward or leave the room whenever this scene came on. The duo rightfully shit their pants at the sight of Wormy's true form. The two assume that the butterfly ate Wormy.
Why does this keep happening to me?
Do your friends have a habit of getting eaten, Patrick? And no, pizza does not count as a friend. The two try to make a run for it, only to find the butterfly has blocked the exit. The duo come up with a plan to stop the monarch monster from eating all of Sandy's pets, which have probably all starved to death since nobody is feeding them. The two try to catch the butterfly by offering up Patrick as live bait. The plan works too well as Patrick gets scared out of his panties by the horrifying demon bug. SpongeBob is nearly cornered until he manages to trap the butterfly in a bubble. The two successfully get Wormy out of the tree dome, only to realize they've now unleashed the monster on the town. The pair rush over to the Krusty Krab, where Squidward and Mr. Krabs are taking a photo with $1. For some reason, SpongeBob tackles them to the ground and tries to warn them about the terrifying monster.
There's a monster out there.
Is he a paying customer?
Squidward and Mr. Krabs ignore his warning and go to see for themselves. The two make fun of the creature, while SpongeBob does what I wish I could do whenever this clip plays.
I can't watch.
Wormy succeeds in scaring off their underwear, even though Squidward doesn't wear pants. SpongeBob and Patrick again assume the monster ate their friends, which isn't too crazy when you realize Squidward and Mr. Krabs disappear for the rest of the episode. Instead of trying to call Sandy for help, the two take it upon themselves to warn the town. The duo spread the word the fastest way known to man, through fear-mongering.
Attention, Bikini Bottom! There's a flying monster that's going to eat you!
They tell everyone that the end of days is upon them and create a national emergency overnight. Bikini Bottom somehow burns to the ground while the citizens run rampant in the streets, except for this one rando who's just trying to take a shower. Underwater, SpongeBob congratulates himself for burning the world to the ground while everyone runs terrified from the monster they literally created. Man, I really wish the episode just ended right here. But no, Sandy gets back to town and solves everything in 2 seconds.
Sandy caught the monster!
The town celebrates Sandy as a hero, while Patrick's face completely disappears. So remember, kids, if you're pet sitting for your friends, make sure to take care of each pet equally instead of picking one favorite and neglecting the rest. Make sure you know the difference between a monarch and a Mothra so you don't lose your shit after your favorite pet goes through metamorphosis. If you accidentally let the animal loose, try to catch it as quickly and calmly as possible, instead of creating a mob that threatens to destroy your entire city. Also, if you're going out of town, don't entrust your pets with your dumbest friends. But if you do, maybe don't give your pet caterpillar an ironic nickname, lest your friends mistake it for a bloodthirsty monster and burn your home to the ground. And if you're a writer for SpongeBob, maybe don't include unsettling jump scares in a show aimed at children. Because even though this episode made me scared of bugs for the rest of my life, I have to keep reminding myself that it's just a cartoon. So, is this episode as terrifying as I remember? Absolutely. I don't care if you're a kid or a grown-up. The extreme close-ups of Wormy are horrifying. I had forgotten just how intense the sound design is. It feels like it's buzzing right in your ear. Also, that's not even a butterfly. Yeah, that's actually stock footage of a horsefly. It's the scariest part of the episode, and they couldn't even bother to film a real butterfly. All joking aside, rewatching this episode did bring up some unpleasant memories. I mentioned how I became scared of bugs because of this episode, but it goes beyond just not liking them. I remember in high school, I had multiple anxiety attacks that were triggered by insects, either cause one got in my bedroom, or one landed on me, or even if it was just flying near me. I would get deathly afraid that it would try to crawl in my ears or fly down my throat and my heart would start beating out of my chest. I would usually have to wait until it flew away or someone else killed it before I could even calm my heart rate. It was around my final year of high school when I started seeing a counselor to keep my fear of bugs from becoming a lifelong debilitation. It was actually during one of my sessions where I first remembered this episode and realized that a lot of my fear of bugs had originated from this clip. Now, I'm not here to say that Spongebob traumatized me. That'd be a gross exaggeration, and also possibly slander. Please don't sue me, Nickelodeon. I've already got PBS on my ass. What I will say is I wish I could have discovered this show through any other way than having to watch this episode. The early seasons of SpongeBob are some of the funniest, most creative cartoons I've ever seen. Maybe it's wishful thinking, but I feel like if I had just been a little older when I first saw Wormy, it wouldn't have bothered me that much. Though I am curious now, did this episode scare you the first time you watched it? What movie or show traumatized you as a child? Whether it was intentionally or unintentionally scary. Let me know in the comments what cartoon gave you nightmares. Thanks so much for watching. I mostly wanted to make this video so I could get this stuff off my chest. Make sure to like and subscribe, and let me know what show I should cover next. Make sure to check out the collab I did with Stage Hands In and help get his channel to 10,000 subscribers.
Wait!
Is there a cartoon you want me to talk about? Patrons who join my $10 tier can pick which shows I cover on It's Just a Cartoon. There's a limited number of slots available, so sign up now. Coming up next.